Hi, this is Armando again, and today I'm going to be talking about Chapter 15, which deals with substance abuse, addiction, and dependency. So, in Dolan's final chapter, I'm going to focus on giving a summary of the chapter and look into why actually adolescents choose to do drugs. So, to start off with, Dolan begins this chapter by dealing with and talking about two types of addictions. These two types of addictions are physical addiction and a psychological addiction. Now, physical addiction means that the body builds up a physical need for the drugs, while a psychological addiction means that the individual develops an overreaching psychological need to have the drug. Dolan points out that both these types of addictions are highly dangerous and can result in a vast number of negative consequences for the individual drug user. Dolan then goes in to talk about four types of categories of drugs. She gives an in-depth and account of each of these categories and drugs. To summarize, the first type of drug category is narcotics, for such as opium base, like heroin. Another type of category she mentions is stimulants such as cocaine or speed. A third category she talks about is antidepressants such as alcohol and tranquilizers. And the fourth category that she mentions are hallucinogens such as LSD. She mentions that each of these um, drug categories can become highly addictive to the individual user and carry a host of negative consequences. So one thing that really struck me while reading this chapter was the fact that Dolan points out that the top three drug abuse by adolescents are one, alcohol, two, tobacco, and three, marijuana. So the question kind of comes out: why do adolescents take drugs to begin with? And Dolan kind of gives a lot of reasons. She starts off that it could be curiosity, that they want to experiment. It could be a way to find fun or pleasure. It could be because of social pressures that they have to deal with from their peers. And probably one of the most prominent reasons might be because they're just trying to get away and stop dealing with the problems that they may have either at school or home. And these are pretty much the reasons that Dolan points out. Um, as a teacher, I think that yes, we need to be teaching about the negative effects of drugs and the consequences can arise out of uh, use of these substances. I know that in our school, the physical education teachers teach about drugs and the consequences that may arise from using drugs. And from talking to physical education teachers, I think the one thing to deter adolescents from doing drugs is to talk about the personal stories of individuals, real people um, that have went through these types of problems and how they overcame these problems. I know that the uh, physical education teachers at our school always try to line up guest speakers to come in and talk about to the students their experiences of dealing with being an abuser of drugs. Um, I really believe that numbers and statistics say a lot and give a first impression to students, but to really hit home and to deter students from, or adolescents in this case, from staying away from drugs, it's really a matter of fact to inject personal stories from people who unfortunately went through um, these types of troubles. And I think that adolescents will learn a lot from um, talking to and listening to individuals who went through this problem and overcame it. So that's, in a nutshell, is chapter 15. Later.